The podcast you're about to hear involves true stories, which may contain graphic content that is not suitable for children. Listener's discretion is advised. This is Esoteric Oddities.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, I feel like we need a better introduction. We need to stop saying hey guys.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
That works, okay.
Yeah, I love it. So, hey, how are you doing?
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome. Sarah and I went to a drive-in.
Okay.
We got a little naughty in the back seat, too.
It was in Jersey, so we rented an SUV so we could, put the top down.
It wasn't just us. Kiko pretty much made this shit happen,
Yes.
So shouts out.
I paid for it.
No, I know, but she, made moves.
Oh, she did, and she, drove.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got an SUV so we could put the seats down and, lay in the back of it. It was cute.
Oh, not only that. Okay, wait. So,
It was a lot.
We bought snacks, and, I pretty much just bought, a bag of chips and Twizzlers, which I think I left in the car, but that's okay.
And I was like, Kiko, I went to Kiko's yesterday, and I was like, do you still have those snacks? She was like, I ate them all.
I know. I would have fucking ate them all, too.
Same.
I would have been like, oh, no, I lost them.
Literally.
But I bought those snacks, and y'all went in on the dollar store snacks.
We did. We had, 3 bags of chips, so much candy.
And then a box of wine and, cups and shit.
We had to smuggle in.
Yeah, because apparently they check trunks to make sure you're not bringing in any contraband.
So we literally...
It was like crossing the border. I felt like I was on Narcos or some shit.
Literally. We wrapped everything in blankets.
Oh my God, yeah. Sarah and Kiko were making little burritos and sushi rolls out of blankets and snacks, spreading them out. We had to strategically, you guys, okay, this is a little tip.
You know.
Yeah, if you have a bag of chips, just open up the bag, deflate the air, and it's a space saver, I'm telling you guys.
Open it up.
So we get there and we're going up. And the guy is at the ticket booth, and I
was eating ice cream.
She was eating already. And the dude's checking the trunk in the car in front of us.
I was so scared.
Kiko she was a damn cucumber. She was cool as a motherfucking cucumber. She's like, hey, how are you?
And
he's
he was like, the only food we have is her. She's eating something.
And then he took it from her. I mean, you were done, but he took your.
He was like, "I'll take your wrapper," and I was like, "I guess this is my cue."
That was fucking weird, but yeah. Then she popped open the trunk, and he was looking around, but we made it. We made it in.
Crazy part was, we smoked and we almost got caught. But me being great, the guy took his jacket off and he was walking towards him, and I was like, I was like, Kiko, stop. And then he put it on right when he was walking past us. Okay, you work here.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God,
amazing.
They take their jobs very seriously.
It's teenagers.
Yeah, they're teenagers. They were walking around,
they were
making
pulling trunks down.
Yeah, they tried to pull our Chewbacca ass sounding trunk down.
That should have recorded.
I should have, because it sounded. There's an account, I forget what it is, but it's basically shit that sounds like Chewbacca, and people have chairs that pull out, and it's and drawers. That's what our trunk sounded like. I think everybody's gonna know what it sounds like, but you're insisting on playing it. Okay.
I sure am. You can't tell me no. Ready?
I hate that it's on a loop.
Okay, that's what it sounds like.
Okay, but we saw a double feature too for $11.
Yeah, that wasn't
we got
bad
a double
at all.
feature. However, the movies were fucking awful.
So it was Slender Man.
Let's start at Slender Man. Let's just
Okay.
what were your? We're just gonna turn into a film a podcast really quick.
Okay, Slender Man made no fucking sense.
Yeah, full disclosure, Slender Man was very popular back when that creepypasta became popular, which was in 2008. Yeah. In my head, it was
before seeing it in theaters.
Did I see the movie?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was in theaters. I knew what Slender Man was because it was a creepypasta.
Oh, okay.
Did you not know that?
No.
So yeah, Slender Man was
I'm an impasta.
I hate you.
But you still laughed.
I know. Where's your marinara? Impasta. I pull up on that new marinara impasta.
Oh.
It's Nikki.
I know.
Ricky Raj. So, but Slender Man was popular. It should have fucking already came out.
Right.
However, Slender Man, it was a video sequence. Well, it was like a series on YouTube, and it was Marble Hornets something 65 or something like that. It's been a while, but it was like a YouTube channel that was basically a film it was like a found film footage of a dude trying to make a film. So there's a film within a film, and like,
ew, I hate that. That sounds messy.
It kind of was, but the clips were so easy that you just kind of like followed it because. I think he gave it to his friend, and like his friend, quote unquote, put like text at the beginning that was like, so and so told me X, Y, and Z, and this is the clip that I found. And you would see like Slender Man in the back, and it really was creepy. It was one of the only things that actually like scared the shit out of me if I was outside by myself in high school.
Slender Man looks like that one painting of the guy like with his mouth open.
Oh yeah, the Scream dude.
Yeah,
kind of. Except he didn't have a face.
Yeah.
But why that movie just came out now, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, right.
1, 2, the acting and the script writing
terrible
was awful.
Okay, Jonathan was a film major, so I feel like he really is critical.
Well, not just I was into screenwriting, so writing was like my forte.
It is.
And yes, it is, but when I was studying.
Right.
But my thing was like this is going to sound really weird, and I feel like I've heard other people have done this, but like if you're gonna write a script, this is maybe not legal, but like go to a coffee shop, put headphones in your ears, and like just listen to people have conversations around you, because that's what people who don't know they're being listened to have a conversation. Do you know what I mean? So like that's what is when you're writing a script, it's a lot harder than you think. Yeah, because so many people are just like, nobody fucking talks. Like if it was you and I, this is what it was kind of like in the movie. It was like, oh, hey, Sarah. How are you today, Sarah? And then it's like, oh, thank you for asking me, Jonathan. I'm good. How are you today, Jonathan? But like, that's what their fucking script was like. And I was like,
really bad.
And they were high school girls.
Cringe.
And you could definitely tell a middle-aged white man was writing what these fucking high school girls were saying. And it was very like cringy and just like, oh my God, everything was so fucking predictable. No, no spoilers, so we'll leave it at that. But let us know what you thought of the film at Oddities podcast at gmail.com. I didn't like it. Wasn't a fan.
Let's talk about The Nun. Okay.
Double feature. So we watched Slender Man first.
And then The Nun. So I'm really mad that they didn't cover like the actual real story. I think they should have gone with the original story, because like Valak is like a real demon
person. Okay, yeah. And also for y'all who don't know, I'm sure you all know.
Valak, whatever.
It's in the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the movies.
So it was like a break off of The Conjuring.
I enjoyed The Conjuring. I enjoyed The Conjuring too.
I'm just going to be honest.
Not so much, but...
Yeah, Annabelle was weird. I'm also just going to be honest. I fell asleep halfway through, so I can't really
We all
tell
did.
you.
We all fell asleep. But the story was...
It was just...
messy.
It was so bad that we fell asleep. Put it that way.
So, y'all know Tessa Farmiga from American Horror Story, probably. Or she was also in... She was in a couple other things, but she was in that movie with Emma Watson where she played her sister. What was that movie? Where they stole everything. The Bling Ring.
The Bling Ring.
So she was pretty good in that movie.
She's a good actress.
Yeah, but in this movie, what the fuck?
Because I think it's all about the writing.
What? Yes, but also she delivered everything. Maybe it's just because her playing a nun, or like a nun in training, whatever they're called. Maybe she was just trying to be super pure, because I feel like that's what it came off as. It came off as a girl's like first performance. Listen to me tear her apart. Where do I have any room to say this?
Yeah,
this is
be
just
nice to Tessa.
This is my humble opinion. Okay, my humble onion. And I don't know. I just didn't like it. And I expected a movie about a nun, like you were saying, to give us an explanation of why she was popping up in the Conjuring universe.
And why, like, what the demon's background story was.
Yeah,
like,
give us a little something. It
wasn't nothing like
they
that.
just were running from her, and then
the whole time.
Yeah, and then like that was that.
Well, that's what we know because we fell asleep.
Well, yeah, but I also there's a podcast, Off Screen Babble, which I like them, and they like kind of were breaking it down, and they were saying very similar things.
I probably wouldn't have got.
I don't know, dude. I just
feel like they should have gave the demon justice. I feel like it would have been scarier if they followed the real story.
But that was the real story, and it fucking sucked dick.
Well, I'm saying, but I think someone posted. I think it was you that posted on Facebook the article about like the story behind like the real?
I don't know if I did that. I don't think so.
Oh, maybe it was somebody else.
Regardless, it was predictable.
Right.
And it was just jump scares. There was no
like real, like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah. Basically,
like we were literally in the woods. It was pitch black.
And I
thought
fine.
I was about to be shook.
Yeah. And I walked to the bathroom by myself. I was also a little drunk. But
I spilled wine.
You did. And I brought paper towels and I was like, because I know someone's going to spill. But you know what? The experience was fun. I had a good time.
I had such a good time. That was amazing.
My first time getting out in a minute.
Cross that off my bucket list. Jonathan's living his best life.
I'm trying. Thanks for noticing. Yeah, so the drive-in. If you guys have been to a drive-in, let us know your experience at odditiespodcast@gmail.com.
So Charlie got out.
What?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me this?
Because I was waiting for this. You do this to me all the time. How does it feel?
Were we not just talking about how I hate when cats get outside?
Okay, so it's not as bad as you think. So, my girlfriend came over, and you know how it's like that foyer before you get into my actual door? So, that was open, and we were just standing in there because we were talking about something, and then we went to go upstairs. You know, I had a rough day that day, so we were like talking a lot for like 2 hours.
In that space?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like,
just talking a lot.
We just closed the door, went upstairs,
right.
Didn't think about anything because we were talking. It had to be 2 hours. And then we go downstairs for something, and we're like, where's Charlie? And I'm like shaking his food, and you know he loves his cat food.
It's like if you shake a bag of McDonald's in front of me and my ass comes out from the corners of the abyss.
I knew he got out. The minute I shook, because usually he'll come when you call him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, and then she opened the door, and he was literally chilling. Mind you, we heard knocking, banging on my door, and I was, my sketchy ass street. I was like, I'm not expecting anyone. My roommate's not expecting anyone. I'm not answering the door.
Right. Was it your neighbor?
Yes, trying to tell me that Charlie was.
So you do have neighbors downstairs?
Yeah. Her name is Carmilla.
Well, now we know. Hey, Carmilla. You never met her before, did you?
No, but we knew that someone was down there because the one day, wasn't it you and she left her keys in the door?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh, well, that was nice. Well, okay, so at least your cat didn't get out because that could have been some scurry shit.
Oh my God, I would have been devastated
to the streets.
I think he would have found his way back because when he was a kitten, he got out and he came back.
Yeah.
So in other news, I deleted all my social media, Facebook, Twitter.
I'm proud of you.
Instagram,
Good.
Snapchat.
Good.
I had a little
moment.
A little BPD episode.
Okay.
Love those.
Yeah.
They come every week now. It's barely there.
It's okay. You recognize that there's that's fucking with you mentally and that you took the steps that you needed to get rid of that shit.
I sure did. So I don't know when I'll be back. So don't miss me too much, guys.
Oh, we'll miss you, but I'm glad that you did that because a lot of people can't fucking do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And we live in a world where, you're just constantly scrolling and just constantly staring and constantly comparing.
The thing. I was not getting anything done because I would justify scrolling, but it's now that I can't scroll, I have to do shit because I'm bored. I'm I have nothing else to do.
Right. Well, that's good. Have you found yourself to be more productive, or are you still in the weird mental space?
I think I'm more productive.
That's good.
But I've just focused. I'm focusing on other stuff like my craft and things like that.
That's good. That's what you really should focus on anyway, because that's reality, and social media is not reality.
It's really not.
I don't really have a choice because my jobs at 2 different companies is managing social media.
And shout out to Jonathan for taking over all social media platforms so I could go on this little hiatus.
Go ahead, girl. Do you, Rumspringer. Find your damn self. I'll be here when you get back.
Okay, I'm really excited for this topic.
So today's...
You're going to be blown away.
I can't wait to be blown, baby. Okay, so today's topic is medical mysteries.
Am I first?
No. All right, y'all. Here we go. I got 3. And let me just say, my last one is kind of nuts. All right, here we go. So,
blow me away.
Let's start at the beginning. So, in 2005, Ann Dill lived in Lake Mary, Florida with her husband, Tom, and their 4 children. So, life pretty much, seems like the American dream for them.
Love that.
Until one day...
No such thing.
until one day Tom started getting an itch under his skin. Soon after, small, patchy pink spots began appearing all over his body. Over time, his health declined, and in January 2006, Tom Dill passed away from what doctors diagnosed as ALS at age 40. But Anne claimed her husband had been misdiagnosed. He had no lung problems or any other unavoidable symptoms associated with ASL. ALS. Oh my God, American Sign Language. God damn it.
Oh God.
So basically, the things that the symptoms that are correlated with ALS, he did not have. At the time of his death, she requested an autopsy, but it was never done.
Yikes.
Yeah, is that a red flag or what?
Yeah.
So weeks later, Anne began noticing similar spots on her own body that matched Tom's. Her hands swelled and she began itching intensely. She said it felt like bugs were crawling underneath her skin. Patchy pink rashes appeared, and at the center is what looked like a hair sticking through the surface of the skin. So imagine like an ingrown hair. You know, it's like a bump, and there's like a little hair there.
And wait, her whole body was filled?
They were here and there. So It wasn't like chicken pox, but it was like here and there. So she was looking at the little thing that looked like a hair and thinking it was an ingrown hair. She pulled it out. But what came out was not a hair.
Was it a worm?
It was a clump of string-like fibers. So Dr. Vincent Malio, he is the chief of dermatology at New York's St. Luke's Roosevelt Center, and he said that Anne's case is no different from other patients who he has seen, and basically he was saying that these patients that he's referring to fully believe that there is something under their skin, but there is nothing there. So he claims that the fibers that Anne had been finding came from an outside source in her environment, like a sweater or a shirt. So he was thinking it was like lint.
Oh.
And she did have open lesions on her, but he was saying that those open lesions are a result of you scratching at it. So he's saying there's nothing there. It's in your head. Basically, you're scratching, which is creating lesions, and you're pulling shit off your sweater. So then that's Anne Dill. Okay, so now let's talk about another woman. So her name is Mary Leto. And at this time, it was like the early to mid 2000s. She was a scientist, and she had a son named Drew. So when Drew was 2 years old, she noticed a sore on the corner of his mouth. So doctors medicated him. They gave Mary topical solutions for him, but years passed and the sore never healed. Then when he was old enough to form sentences, he kept saying bugs and pointing to his mouth. So one day, she was using a handy-dandy pair of scissors, and Mary pulled out what looked like a hair, but turned out to be a surprisingly long string that had been growing under Drew's skin.
Ringworm.
Being a biologist, she took a closer look at the fiber with a microscope, and she found balls of strange fiber. And what was more strange was they glowed fluorescent red and blue when placed under a UV light. Yeah, that's some weird shit, right?
It's like fucking Space Jam.
So... What does that have to do with Space Jam?
That's what Space Jam is. They're like little buggies.
No. Okay, well, I'll go with it. Okay, perfect. So wait, Space Jam like Bugs Bunny and like.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know those little bugs?
No. Yeah. They're not bugs.
Oh.
They're monstars.
They're bugs.
Okay. They were actually from a different planet, so technically they're Martians or aliens, but
technically
I won't fight you on that. So Mary went to the doctor with what she had found, and the doctor then sent a message to Drew's pediatrician. And the message stated that Drew needed Vaseline for his lip and Mary needed a psychological evaluation.
He needs Vaseline for his lip and you need a psychological...
That's got to be so fucking frustrating, though,
like,
as a mom going to your doctor with a concern and they're telling you...
That's how doctors are.
They're telling you need a psychological evaluation.
Like, I'm a biologist, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's crazy about it. So With nowhere else to turn, Mary started doing her own research, and she found a similar description made in the 17th century to a strange disease with, quote, harsh hairs. So the patients, plural, that were affected was a small family named Morgellons. So that was their last name. So she unofficially named the mystery medical condition Morgellons disease and spread the word on the internet. So over the course of a few years, Mary was contacted by over 4,500 people who claimed to also have the disease, and doctors did not believe them. So then Dr. Vincent Malio, again, is saying that there is no such thing as Morgellons disease. You can't find the technical definition in any published medical book anywhere. And he says that all the patients who claim they have it, they actually have delusions of parasitosis. So again,
you're telling me a child has it?
He's saying that the mom has it, and that the mom is thinking she's pulling these fibers out of the sore on his mouth, but really it's from a fucking scarf or some shit.
Right.
Basically the same bullshit thing that he's saying about the other woman. So then there is Dr. Rhonda Casey. She's from Oklahoma State University. So she took a look at Drew, the little boy, and she was actually, for the first time, because when she would take him to the doctors, they didn't have any fibers to pull out. So for the first time, she took a look at Drew, and she was actually able to pull out fibers from his lip herself. So now the doctor is like seeing that you can't deny this. And this woman, Dr. Rhonda Casey, she actually like was more on the parent side, and like believing her and just trying to get to the bottom of it. So Dr. Casey then took a look at Ann Dill, remember the woman whose husband passed away?
Right.
And
her husband passed away from the same thing, yes?
He had ALS, but he didn't. Okay. They don't think so. Right. And I'll get back to him in a second. And also, this Dr. Casey took a look at Ann Dill's kids. She found that each kid did, in fact, also have similar spots on their skin with fibers. So the fibers were sent to a forensic scientist whose name was Ron Poe at the Tulsa Police Crime Lab. So this is a professional dude he's a forensic scientist at a police crime lab. So Poe compared the Morgellons samples to over 100,000 known fibers of every material and blend known to man. Guess what, bitch? There was no motherfucking match. So not anything known that was natural, not anything that was synthetic, no fiber that they have in the database matched these fibers that were found under the skin. So Poe concluded that it is not a commercial fiber, and it is not any sort of lint or debris recognized in the history of mankind. A motherfucker. So this pretty much contradicts Dr. Vincent Malio's statement that the fibers came from an exterior source. And like, I saw an interview with this dude, and he was like, I'm not going to judge him, but seemed like he was very like, why am I here? Like, this isn't real. Go fuck all yourselves. And when prompted with this explanation, and they were like, it's a mystery, isn't it? And he's like, well, yeah, it's a mystery. Like, nobody knows where these are coming from, but like, they're claiming one thing, but that's not what's the reality. The reality is it's coming off their damn sweater. But he had nothing to say when the forensic scientist was like, hey, we compared it to 100,000 known fibers.
Like, hello, sir.
And they didn't match. He was just
Wake up.
He was like, yeah, that's weird. Moving on. And it would be one thing if it was just like a topical thing, but like this woman, Anne, is claiming that her husband died from this, and he won't like look into it further, and they wouldn't give homeboy an autopsy, which I think is fucking weird. I thought that was like part of the package deal. You die, you get an autopsy, and then we bury you. So Dr. Rhonda Casey also looked at the death record of Anne's husband, Tom, who's, again, doctors diagnosed with ALS. So there were photographs of red rashes and pink patchy areas on his skin with what looked like a hair in the center. So Anne told Dr. Casey that he too would occasionally find threads of long fibers like on his skin.
Yikes.
But they didn't think anything of it because they just thought maybe it was ingrown hairs or something associated with ALS or something. So now there was photographic proof. So Dr. Casey said, quote, many of the symptoms were similar to ALS, but I believe Tom suffered from and ultimately succumbed to the neurological decline of Morgellons disease. So basically symptoms include itchy skin, muscle and skin ache, physical neurological decline such as foot drop or palsy. as well as brain fog and the inability to remember how to do simple tasks. It is believed by many that it is contagious, and it can most likely be contracted through close contact, which makes this a really fucking serious thing if doctors aren't going to take it seriously, and her kids are going to school.
Right, hello, and it's contagious as shit.
But it wasn't, like, in 2005, it wasn't on the books. Like, It wasn't a thing that actually was a thing. Yeah.
I totally get it.
But still, many doctors deny that Morgellons is a real disease. And they don't think that it could cost someone their life, though other scientists and people who suffer from that obviously would fucking oppose that, including the police, crime, lab, forensic scientists, which I feel like that's like a big fucking deal. He's just like, yeah, this is like a real thing. It's fucking weird. Like, y'all should look into it. I mean, again, he's just a forensic scientist, not just a forensic scientist.
But like, hello?
Yeah, but like,
why doesn't anyone else believe?
All these pieces are coming together. I don't fucking know. I have no idea. It was like, he was like a kid on the playground, like crossing his arms, and he's like, no. I'm sticking with what I believe.
This is my story and I'm sticking to it.
Basically. So one of Andil's daughters said, this is so sad. She said, we just lost our dad so unexpectedly and we're scared we're going to lose our mom too. So this whole thing and where that quote was pulled from was from, I want to say 2008-ish. So I looked her up and it looks as though Andil is still alive. I don't know how she's doing, but I did try to see if she unfortunately passed, but it looks like she hasn't. I could be wrong, but...
That's good.
So then Anne said she looks at pictures of her family like from 4 years ago and she doesn't even know who those people are anymore. I know. She said, my kids had to see not only their dad, but their mom disintegrating, and that's got to be really scary too. Wow. I know that's so sad. But still very little is known about the disease that has potentially been around since the 17th century. There is no known cause and no known cure. And that is Morgellons disease.
Wow.
Yeah, that's some scary fucking shit, and I think it really should be obviously taken seriously.
Someone needs to find a cure. Like, what?
Well, I don't even know if they can find a cure, but like, let's start with believing it's an actual fucking medical condition, you assholes. All right, so on to number 2. So Niah Selway is a 20-year-old YouTuber and beauty guru from England. Her videos range from makeup and hair tutorials to vlogs. But there's one major thing that, kind of sets her apart from other makeup artists on YouTube, because for Niah, removing makeup can be extremely painful because she is allergic to water.
Yikes.
Niah is one of the few people to have been diagnosed with aguagenic pruritus. I probably butchered that, my bad. But the condition is so rare that there are only 30 known cases worldwide. So normally a common reaction will go like this. When water comes in contact with her skin, she has about 5 to 10 minutes of pain-free time until the reaction starts. Her skin, where the water contacted first, begins to tingle. Then after 3 minutes of tingling, it becomes itchy. She says, I'll get there. She says it feels like a deep itch that can't ever be relieved. And if she doesn't scratch her itch, she gets spasms in her arms and she begins to twitch a lot.
No.
So then after about 10 minutes of itchiness, it turns into a burn. She says the best way for her to describe it is, imagine if your whole body feels like extremely hot and an intense stinging sensation all over.
Love that.
So at this point in her reaction, after about 10 minutes, Niah can hardly talk or walk. And she says it's the most painful thing she has ever experienced in her life. But basically, like, each reaction is different, and the duration and the pain, like, it kind of varies situationally, So for the most part, after being in contact with water, her reactions basically disable her for 2 to 3 hours. Her longest reaction she ever had was 4 hours long, and she said it felt like torture.
Damn.
But this also means that when she sweats or cries, she also has an allergic reaction.
Wow, she probably doesn't cry.
No, she does. Like, I also think about how much pain you would be in if you're going through, like, a reaction. I'd fucking cry. So she said...
Oh, no, I meant, like, regularly. She probably tries not to cry.
Oh, God. Please don't bottle up those emotions, girl.
Right.
So she... Coming from me. Listen to me talk.
You hypocrite!
So she said that on hot nights when she sweats in her sleep, she can wake up in pain. When it rains... imagine like acid rain for us.
Yeah, that's probably literally what it is for her.
I mean, obviously she'll have an umbrella, but she has to plan out her day like specifically and accordingly, or like sit in her car and wait for the rain to
Oh my God.
let up. She says when she was younger, the pain was much less intense. However, she did suffer from eczema, but she no longer has it. Until she was a teenager, she thought that her reactions were normal.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but also...
Everyone... this happens to everyone.
Exactly, but when she was younger, it was a lot less painful. So, like,
that makes sense.
pretty much as she gets older, it gets worse.
Yeah. That's how life goes.
Fucking A. So it mostly caused confusion, and over time, it caused some psychological damage, which I can imagine.
Right?
So
I feel really bad.
I know. She can't use moisturizers, due to their water content.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. And she loves doing makeup. Like,
so
she just enjoys like the art of doing makeup, and she's good at it. But she can't use moisturizers due to their water content. So she's actually prescribed to this oil spray that comes in like an aerosol can. It looks expensive.
Oh, wow.
But it's basically oil, and she doesn't really have a reaction with oil, just H2O.
Oh, that's good.
So also things that have like water content in it, like if she had orange juice and it spilled on her leg, she's going to have a reaction. Even she said like her skin is very, very sensitive and tender. And even like if a rough fabric rubs against her skin, she could potentially have a reaction.
Oh my God.
Like without water, or if her leg like hits something like hard, like if she hit her shin, she would kind of have like a reaction where that happened.
Oh my God. Yikes.
She gets asked a lot, like you just asked, how does she bathe? She said showers hurt her skin a lot more than baths do. So she stopped showering in 2015, and she has to take baths daily. She said she found that, I guess, the water hitting made the reaction, makes the reaction a lot worse.
Oh my God.
That's such a shame because, like, baths, I know for you, it was like a relaxing time to, like, have, you're zen. Baths. Yeah, but, like, for her, it's like, just trying to get clean is like a nightmare.
Right. Doing any regular activity is
she was saying...
It doesn't seem like she has a lot of options.
Yeah. She was saying that, if she has something to do the next day, she has to obviously plan ahead that she'll do it late the night before or sometime in the day before.
It's crazy because people that don't know her probably don't even know that she has like this condition.
Yeah, and she had said that people who find out, it's like weird to them because it's a unique but exactly. But I mean, you asked that question because it's a natural, curious question, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm sure she's sick of it. I know you did. So she was doing UV phototherapy treatment at a local hospital. She was going twice a week for 10 to 15 minutes, but she never finished her treatments because her reaction was so bad that her skin actually started to peel off.
Oh my God.
Yeah. From the radiation? For whatever it was, her skin is just so sensitive to everything. So in addition to her allergy to water, she has a common skin condition called keratosis pilaris, which causes permanent goosebumps on her thighs. And but that's kind of more common.
Oh, okay.
And also she suffers from hay fever, and she has intense skin reactions or like allergic reactions with insect bites or stings. Like that shit's intensified. Also,
mosquitoes?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Also, people are asking her, so how do you survive? Because like a human body is basically made up of water. So essentially it's just an allergic reaction on like a topical allergic reaction. So she can drink water, obviously. If it touches her lips, she's fine. But if it goes below her lip line, like if it drips onto her chin, she will have a reaction. Also, she's allergic to alcohol when it's ingested. Her doctors say it's because alcohol's histamine content makes her react. So basically she takes a shot and she vomits uncontrollably when she drinks alcohol. Yeah. And she's basically required to go to the hospital for anti-sickness injections. So safe to say she probably doesn't drink anymore. Safe to say she doesn't drink anymore.
Right. What?
She was also featured on BBC, Southeast Today. And so when I decided to do this story, I was looking some stuff up and she popped up. on Google. So I started watching her YouTube videos, and then I DM'd her, and I was just like, hey, I am doing an episode on medical mysteries. And I wanted to go about it in like a
nice
sensitive way.
Right.
Yeah, not just like, hey, I'm going to use your information and just like use it for
Tell your
entertainment
story.
purposes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I also kind of wanted her like blessing before I fucking did this. So she was DMing me back. So we were talking a little bit. And when I was typing up the script, I wanted everything to be like as
she said it.
Yeah, as so I didn't want to be putting words in her mouth and shit like that. So I was sending her this stuff, and we went back and forth for a little bit. She's a really, really sweet girl. And like the same for me. I think her condition is what draws a lot of people to her, because it's like, how are you allergic? Like I need to know more, because as humans we crave like the more information. And she seems, I mean, outside of talking to her through the internet, I don't know her, but she seems like very genuine and very like patient with people, and understanding that people are going to be curious about that, and people are not going to believe her and stuff.
Right.
But she has actually been diagnosed to be allergic to water. And again, honestly, her content is like great. She has videos that have nothing to do with her being allergic to water, and you know, she's a talented makeup artist. I don't know if she would call herself a makeup artist, but I'm going to call it. She does makeup, and she does tutorials, and she does hair tutorials, and she's good at it.
Oh, okay.
And she's also really open about her mental health, which I love.
I love that. It's very
yeah,
important.
I love that more and more people are being more open about that, because it's like, hey, we're all fucked up. It sucks.
Just talk about it.
Yeah, let's just be open about it. And I think it's also really important to remember that people are not just their conditions. So like, yes, her allergy to water is part of who she is, but it is not all of who she is. And I think that that's really important to keep in mind. And also I think it's really cool that she is still continuously like, this isn't just a case that happened like years ago. Like, I think she's 20. I want to say she's 19 or 20 as we record this. But she's still making videos, and she has a platform on YouTube to spread awareness and like answer people's questions. Amazing. And also, you know, there could be people out there who have not been diagnosed with it, who may not even fucking know it's a thing, or may not know. True. Do you know what I mean? And
like when she was younger, she didn't know. She's out of
Right, exactly. Yeah, but she's awesome. Her name is Niah Selway. That's NIAH SELWAY. So go subscribe to her YouTube channel, and her Instagram is also at Niah Selway, same way it's spelled. Leave her a comment, tell her we sent you.
Yeah, literally, tell her she's great.
Yeah, she's really dope. She's really cool. So, and I know she's listening, so hi.
Hey.
Hi, Niah. But I feel for her, and I know she's not looking for sympathy. That's not like something that she's just looking for.
To push awareness.
But I feel like that's a thing that, not necessarily, I guess you could say take it for granted, but like you don't think about someone who would be allergic to water. Right. Who she had a video where she filmed like a reaction happening basically in real time, but she sped it up so you don't have to watch it for like 4 hours. Yeah. But yeah, she like would take a bath and then start to feel it like after she was in the bath for like 5 minutes, and then the rest of like 3 hours after was just ruined. Like she couldn't talk. She was like curled up in a ball on her bed. Like I just felt for her.
Oh my God, no.
I know, and it's, I feel for her. Again, no cure. She told me that they haven't made too much progress.
Do you know how many other people have this
in the world? 30.
Oh wow, that's not a lot.
Yeah, but I think it's really cool that she's open and she's out there as like an internet personality and being really open with it.
Like kind of like a spokesperson.
Yeah. Yeah. So Niah, thanks for being great.
Thank you.
Keep shining.
Right.
All right. So then there is my last story, which is one of the craziest motherfucking stories I have like heard of in my life. And I remember I had written this down like 2 years ago. I was originally gonna make a whole YouTube video about this when I was doing like weird conspiracy theories, but it wasn't quite a conspiracy theory. Obviously, it's a medical mystery. Right. This is the true story of Terry Cottle's heart. Before I start the story, I just want to say it is a little dark and heavy, and it is true. So just gonna put that out there. So April 1st, 2008 was an overcast spring morning in southeast Georgia. Sonny Graham woke up early and walked to the backyard shed that he had built. There, the 69-year-old picked up a 12-gauge Remington shotgun, pointed the muzzle at the right side of his throat, and pulled the trigger. It was April Fool's Day, almost 13 years to the day since Sonny Graham got a second chance at life. So in the early 1990s, Sonny Graham was a big deal in his hometown. He was a longtime manager at the central plant for a telephone service provider, and he knew just about everybody. His Brunswick stew, which I don't know what that is, but it's a stew. It became like a staple at fundraisers and community events. So he was making these things and, doing fundraisers and things. So there was actually his local high school football field was named in his honor.
Oh, nice.
While he was still alive. So he was married to his wife, Elaine, for almost 30 years. They had 2 kids together. But then in 1995, Sonny Graham fell ill with a virus that attacked the tissues of his heart. So then he went on the heart transplant list. And a year later, he got his heart from a man. That man was 33-year-old Terry Cottle. So in the mid-1990s, so we're going to go back. We're going to go to this dude, Terry. So Terry lived with his wife, Cheryl Sweet. The couple had met under strange circumstances. It was the late 80s, and they were married to different people. Terry worked for Cheryl's father, and despite the fact that he was married with 2 children, Terry struck up a conversation with her, and eventually their spouses found out, and the 2 were, single. Their husband and wife left them. So Terry and Cheryl were married 9 days after their divorces were finalized. At first, everything was great. Terry legally adopted Cheryl's children, and the couple had another child of their own, but money was tight, and the marriage was further strained by the arrival of Cheryl's mother, who lived with them because Cheryl's father passed away, and then when he did, Mom moved in.
Right.
So in March 1995, the couple had a massive argument over finances. At one point, Cheryl took off her wedding ring, and she threw it over the fence in their yard. The next morning, they agreed to split, and Terry was going to be the one to leave. Amid his emotions, Terry Cottle went into the bathroom and held a gun to his head and pulled the trigger. He survived the self-inflicted gunshot wound, and he was taken to the hospital and placed on life support. But 4 days in the trauma unit at the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston, Cheryl agreed to take him off of life support so his organs could be donated, because I think the longer they kept him on there, the less likely it was that they could, his heart would be healthy enough to transplant to somebody who needed it.
Right.
So, his heart was a match with Sonny, and the operation was a success. So Sonny Graham now had Terry Cottle's heart beating in his chest. In a strange twist, Sonny began taking on some of the preferences of the man whose heart beat in his chest. So Terry Cottle loved beer and hot dogs, neither of which Terry enjoyed. But after the operation, Sonny began to crave beer and hot dogs. Friends noted that Sonny seemed suddenly restless too, which was a trait he did not have before the operation, but Terry did. In November 1996, Sonny asked the South Carolina Organ Procedure Agency to forward a letter to the donor's family. Sonny's children were like, it's a bad idea, just let it go or whatever. But he wanted to thank Terry Cottle's wife in person. After the exchange of another letter with some photographs, Cheryl called Sonny on the phone. So in January 1997, Sonny and his wife, Elaine, met Cheryl for dinner at a waterfront restaurant in Charleston. And Sonny couldn't keep his eyes off the 30-year-old widow.
Oh, God.
Quote, I fell in love with Cheryl the first time we met, end quote. He confessed later in a letter. So 9 years later, Sonny left his wife of 38 years, and Sonny and Cheryl married in 2004. So now Cheryl is married to the man who has Terry's heart. But it wasn't long before history, began repeating itself. Just as it had with Terry, Cheryl began harassing Sonny about money after they were married. Over the years the two were married, Sonny had piled up debts, many of which he could not afford to pay off with his job as, the head dude at the telecommunications plant. Then in 2008, Sonny Graham walked to his shed, ended his own life. 2 men, 2 suicides, the same wife, the same heart. So, some suggest that the strange case of Terry Cottle and Sonny Graham could be tied to a thing called cellular memory. So, this medical phenomenon describes how a person can change after receiving an organ transplant, and they, apparently would take on the characteristics of the donor. And this tends to happen with heart transplants in particular. So some people say perhaps Sonny Graham's fate was sealed when Terry Cottle's heart was put in his chest. A side note, a study actually revealed that over 70% of people with heart transplants experience craving food and beverages that their organ donors had.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So they think it is cellular memory, but they only have studies and like people telling them that they're craving these. There's no like actual medical like there's statistics, but there's no scientific fact, because that's not really something scientifically I don't think you could figure out.
Right.
But there's like a whole bunch of stuff back and forth with this. And actually, if you look, the story's a little bit more complicated than I brought to the table, but a lot of other characters start getting introduced to the story that I personally don't think was important. But a lot of people put a lot of blame on Cheryl because of the two men and the choices like that they made.
You think I did?
Yes, but also she was a little promiscuous, and I'm not trying to use that in a negative way. I'm just telling it how it is, that right. She was known for, when she had met Terry, she was married to another man and she had kids, and then she actually was caught like cheating. And then she actually got married 2 other times. Okay. So it's this whole thing. So I'm just going to put that out there that that's a thing. But I don't think it's fair at all to fucking put the blame on this woman. Yeah, and also, like, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Right. So we don't know. But that's, you can't fucking do that shit. Like, you can't do that. And, that's just fully judging people. But, cellular memory, that's interesting. I believe it. I had never really thought of it before. I think it's kind of nuts. My uncle Matt, before he passed, he had a heart transplant. So, and I don't know if any of this happened. I should have talked to my cousin right. Julie and asked her, but like I don't know if any of that stuff had happened to him before. But apparently 70% of the people who have a heart transplant, literally, they start craving things and start feeling different ways that are related to the donor. And also a lot of the times the two parties can not be in contact. A lot.
They're like not allowed?
No, it's not that they're not allowed. I just think
it's like confidential, isn't it?
I don't know exactly, but I know that if they want to reach out, you go through a third party who like Sonny did when he wanted to write the note to Cheryl.
Oh, right.
Who know the contact information for those people. And not all people do. Some people do. Oh, that was me. Sorry. It's a choice.
That was
so
scary.
I'm sorry. It's their choice. So it is what it is. But right. I think that's very, very interesting to think about, the fact that like you have someone else's heart in you, and you're literally taking on their traits. I think it's bizarre.
Same here.
A medical mystery, some may say.
It's bizarre. How bizarre, how bizarre.
Truly. So those were my medical mysteries.
Wow.
And quick disclosure, suicide is never the answer, and there is help there for you. So if you are in the U.S., the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number is 1-800-273-8255. They are available 24 hours a day. So if you or someone you know needs help with something like that, don't be embarrassed and don't hesitate to call, because there is help out there.
Wow, okay. I feel like now I have to lighten it up.
Sorry, that was a dark one, but I just think it's so crazy. Like 2 men,
the same characteristics,
and the same wife.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How bizarre! Yeah, and that's what he was saying, was that his like heart was skipping a beat because his heart literally like knew
was something else.
Yeah, so weird.
My heart skipped a beat.
And then I know we need to move on, but like, and then you have to think. I mean, we will never know, but if he had gotten his heart transplant from anybody else,
would he take on the same?
Would he have married their wife?
Right. Oh, yeah.
If he had met with them? Because this is the only reported case I could find that was something like this. Yeah, just weird shit, man.
Oh.
Love some weird shit.
Love weird shit. Okay. When Sarah first met Tom at a friend's house, they immediately clicked.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Your name's Sarah and Tom is upstairs. If you hear them yelling, they're literally watching football.
I don't know any people's name upstairs. He was warm, chatty, with a gentle sense of humor that reminded her of her brother, which is really weird to me. But.
Okay, we'll go with it.
In the following weeks, they went out on dates. They spent more time together. Sometimes Sarah would stay over at Tom's house. Other times he would come to hers. You know, they started forming a relationship. As they were getting to know each other, something happened while they were in bed one night that made Sarah feel uncomfortable.
Oh, boy.
Tom began touching her breasts and quickly began thrusting on top of her in a crude, unsensual way. It was early in their relationship, and she decided not to say anything about it.
Oh, no, girl. Always say something about it if you're uncomfortable. There is nothing wrong with that.
Right. It's like, you don't know what's going on. That's okay.
Okay. Also, hate to be weird, but can you paint the picture? Like, what do we know what he was thrusting on top of her?
Yeah, it'll all make sense in like 2 seconds.
Got it. Thank you. Is he part fish? Is this going to be some weird mermaid shit? Because I'm here for it.
This is a quote from Sarah. She says, "I guess I thought he was just being a bit frisky, so I brushed it off, which is probably what always happened in the past."
Uh-oh. That sounds like there's more to this story.
Gradually, they became closer and settled into a routine with dinners, movies, and long walks together. They enjoyed each other's company, and Sarah put aside her worries of that strange happening. One night after they'd been to a party where they were both drinking, Sarah woke up from a deep sleep to find Tom trying to penetrate her through her underwear. It was painful and disturbing. The next day, she told him she'd had enough and she wanted to end the relationship.
Yeah, because she's asleep, unconscious, not consenting. That is rape.
But Tom's response surprised her. He didn't know what I was talking about, so he was quite defensive, and I was really angry, having been woken up and him just being completely oblivious to the whole thing, Sarah says. Tom insisted he had no recollection at all of trying to have sex with Sarah that night. He was devastated by her accusation of what he had done and by the thought that he had hurt her.
He better have a fucking medical condition, because right now I ain't buying that shit. I wouldn't buy that shit if it was on sale.
Sarah didn't know what to think. Tom's attempt to have sex that night had been totally different from how he normally was, gentle, intimate, and sensual. But she remembered something. Tom had told her that when they first met, before the relationship had begun, that years ago he had been convicted of raping his ex-partner Karen and sentenced to 7 years in jail.
Did he serve that sentence?
Yeah. Are you triggered?
I'm confused.
Okay, so, almost everyone has heard of sleepwalking, but what isn't talked about is men or women that have sex in their sleep. Medically referred as sexsomnia, one man found himself in trouble because of this medical condition.
My jaw has dropped.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to be open-minded, but then we'll have an open discussion.
So, sexsomnia is considered a type of parasomnia, an abnormal activity, behavior, or experience that occurs during a deep sleep. But many of the facts about sexsomnia, such as its exact cause, the variety of symptoms, and its prevalence, are not understood. Sexsomnia is a relatively new condition, with the first official case reported in 1986. According to a study done in 2015, only 94 cases of sleep sex have been documented worldwide. It is also difficult to study long-term because it takes place randomly during the night. So, common symptoms of sexsomnia are, fondling, rubbing, moaning, heavy breathing, sweating, masturbating, initiating foreplay, sexual intercourse, spontaneous orgasm, no recollection or memory of sexual events, denial of activities, sleepwalking or talking. Aside from the physical symptoms that occur during the episode, sexsomnia can have awful and harmful emotional, psychological, and even criminal consequences.
Of course, because now any old rapist can be like,
I have sexsomnia.
I was asleep.
So as other parasomnias, like sleepwalking, it seems sexsomnia is caused by the disruption while the brain is moving between deep sleep cycles. These disturbances are often called confusion arousals, which are called CAs. Through the causes of sleep sex remain unknown, research shows the condition has clear risk factors, primarily medical conditions, lifestyle habits, jobs, and medications that interfere with sleeping patterns.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I wonder if what his work life was and if he was hella stressed. And if he was on medication. Are you going to get to it? Okay,
yeah. Triggers are lack of sleep, extreme exhaustion, excessive alcohol, use of drugs, anxiety, stress, poor sleeping conditions, poor sleep hygiene or schedule, shift work, especially high stress jobs such as military or hospital work, travel, sharing a bed with someone regardless of the relationship with the person. And that is sexsomnia.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's
do we know how many known cases there are of this?
There's 94 people that have it.
Okay, wait, you said that, sorry. In the world right now, or like recorded ever?
In 2015, it was recorded that 94 people had it. And they can't study it because...
Okay, so I'm skeptical because it is so hard to, like you're saying, but also...
it's like something like they don't hit REM or something.
Okay, regardless of that, I feel as though as much as you want to live a normal life,
you need to stop sleeping next to someone.
If you have this condition and you know you have this condition, you should not put your loved one,
your partner.
Yeah, your partner, who I'm assuming you have. Well, I guess one night stands would be a different thing, but shouldn't fucking do that shit either. But like, if you love somebody, I don't know how, and it'll take a toll on your relationship, but you don't want to be raping somebody
in your sleep
if it's a real thing. So my brain I'm kind of split. I would have to obviously learn a lot more, but
Are you shook?
Well, okay, so here's my thing. If he's like a serial rapist, like IRL, what does he have to gain? Maybe I sound ignorant, but what does he have to gain if he has this girl who's going to consent to having sex with her?
In his sleep.
No, not in his sleep. Like when they're conscious and she is consenting, he is consenting. And it's like normal intercourse, or maybe not normal, whatever they're fucking into. I don't fucking know. What would he have to gain if he was raping her and lying about being a sleepwalking rapist?
Right.
Or like a sleep fucker or whatever you called it. I don't know.
Right. It sounds bizarre, right?
It does sound really bizarre because that's when my brain is just like, okay, well, why would he say that if he
had this condition and knew about it?
But, the whole rape thing is like, it's a power thing, and it's like a fucked up mind of someone who's, I don't know, dude. I don't know what to think of it. Because there was that one dude, Kenneth Parks, who was the homicidal sleepwalker. He's the sleepwalking murderer.
Oh, right.
Maybe I'll cover him in some other topic, but basically he
would kill people in his sleep.
And I think he killed one person. It was in the 80s, and it was his mother-in-law.
Oh shit.
And he was acquitted of the murder after using his sleepwalking defense. And then that opens up a whole new door. It's just like,
There's a whole YouTube thing on it.
On what, the sexsomnia? I'll have to watch it. I'm interested in watching it because you fucking did it. You're admitting you did it, but you're saying you didn't consciously do it.
Right.
And it's very different from being like, yeah, I fucking did it, but I was under, I was under the influence. I took drugs, because then it's like, well, you were sober and conscious when you decided to take the drugs. Then this is like a whole other fucking avenue that I don't quite know how.
And it gives people an excuse. And I just want to say, like, I obviously don't condone rape.
Absolutely.
But I just thought this was really interesting.
I totally agree, and I think it's very interesting that there are studies about it. I would definitely like to look more into it, because that's just very weird and sketchy to me.
Right?
Because now, if this blows up into a thing,
it gives people a platform. It gives rapists a platform.
It gives them a fucking excuse. Now, any old person can be like, "Oh yeah, I raped her, but
I was asleep."
I was asleep.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should have put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode.
True. Maybe we should do that.
Well, fuck. What do you think?
Do
you buy it?
I do. I really do.
Okay.
Because obviously, like, I clicked a lot of...
Right, so you obviously know a lot more than I do.
Yeah, like, I watched a video on it. I read, like, articles about it. And I don't think... Have you ever heard of people that like are just really deep sleepers? I
Yeah.
feel like it's that, but I feel like their brain, like there's something going on where like they're active.
Right, where one part of the brain and I don't really know shit about the brain.
I really don't either.
But I definitely would like to look more into that shit.
Do it sweaty.
Wowzers.
Yeah, so that's my medical mystery.
I like it. I think it's interesting.
Thanks.
You know what we haven't done for a really long time that I really want to do?
What?
Let's say it at the same time. Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Okay, wait. I'll edit that out. Let's say it at the same time.
A quiz.
A quiz. We'll fucking work on that.
Don't ever.
I really thought our chemistry was better than that. But before we do this, we just want to thank everybody who gave us new ratings.
Thanks, guys.
On Apple Podcast, Apple iTunes, whatever the frick. If you guys could drop us a 5-star and a little review, it helps us out a lot. And thank you guys so much for the increase in our reviews. It's greatly appreciated. And recommend us on Facebook if you'd like. A word of mouth, it really helps if you tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your ugly friends to freaking listen to us.
Please.
Yeah, it helps us out for sure. Also, if you would like to help us out even more, patreon.com/esoteric oddities. Every other week, you are getting a bonus episode for as low as $5 or more. You don't even have to do $5. You can do as little as like 50 cents. I don't know. I don't know if they let you do 50 cents. Oh. But every penny helps us out so much. And it really helps us to, continue making this content for you guys. We just
Help me, I'm poor.
We just got delivered some new equipment, which is great, but costly. Okay, so let's just fuck it. Let's take a quiz. So this is,
Let's just fuck it.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Oh, sorry. That was in poor taste, if you ask me. So which young celeb is your soulmate? What strokes that fire you desire?
Love that. Okay.
All right. So this is a BuzzFeed quiz. All right. So do you want to read the first?
Yeah. What's your favorite romantic gesture? Having an intimate dinner, walking on the beach, going to a cheesy movie, cuddling in bed, getting flowers, receiving chocolates. I think I'm going to be super realistic here. Like, I can't walk on a beach, so I spend most of my time cuddling in bed. So that's what I'm going to say.
Cuddling in bed. Yeah, I like to cuddle in bed, but your bitch loves some eggplant
dinner.
parm.
I
know. And honestly, I'm not a cuddle in bed bitch. I'm like okay, this has been fun. So I'm gonna say having an intimate dinner because usually drinks are involved. And your bitch got issues. Choose a sexy real life Disney hunk.
Okay, first of all, they didn't put any girls on here, and who are these people?
Yeah, these are like male models that are dressed like Disney.
They're sketches,
guys.
But Prince.
Okay, so our options are Aladdin, Tarzan, Li Shang from Mulan, Prince Naveen, Flynn, or Hercules.
I'm saying Prince Naveen. He's looking mighty fine.
He is. I'm gonna say Tarzan.
Love that. You
love to yank hair. What? That was weird. Did you hear that?
What was
Next question, please.
Oh God. Okay. Oh. Okay. What's your current relationship status?
Oh. All right. Let's go ahead. Read them all.
All right. Single, engaged, divorced, playing the field, married. It's complicated.
I'm single as a Pringle.
Okay, but it doesn't say in a relationship.
It really doesn't. It's a single engaged. It's complicated. Oh fuck! Wow. What are you even supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
I'm married, okay? That's what it feels like.
They really didn't give any
dating.
You didn't have to say playing the field. That could have just been dating, like normally dating.
I have a spouse. Well, I have a significant other.
A partner, if you will. Okay, so what behavior is a total turnoff?
I'm so happy I didn't get this one because what the fuck is that first word?
Chauvinism?
Yeah.
Being ignored.
What does that mean?
One-upping, bragging, bad pickup lines, or being rude.
Okay, what's chauvinism? That one. Because you're not about to be aggressive for me, I'll break your fucking jaw.
It's like a selfish.
Yeah, still stands.
Okay. Where did that tab go?
I hate being ignored too, for anyone who is wondering. I hate one-upping. I hate
dude,
bragging.
These are all fucking turn-offs.
Literally.
Being ignored, one-upping, being rude, bad pickup lines is fine. Those, they can
They can like be funny.
Yeah, as long as it's not like sexually harassing me.
Right.
Bragging, dude, they're all pretty bad. I want to say a chauvinistic bitch cannot get in these pants, but being ignored,
Dude, that's triggering.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say being ignored.
Okay.
And also, I'm triggered. Remember we used to say that every fucking episode?
Every time.
Like, it started off as a joke, but then it kind of...
It was like, I'm really triggered.
Yeah.
What looks best on a man? A tailored suit, a fitted tee, a crisp button-up.
A crisp pair of slacks.
A military uniform, a tuxedo, a birthday suit. I'm going to say a birthday suit because I love seeing my girlfriend naked. She has the nicest ass ever.
I'm going to say a tuxedo.
Oh, cute. You just want to get married.
Fuck, I don't.
I'm just kidding.
Who would you Wait.
Why did they put wingman like that?
Right? Like in fucking italicized goddamn Comic Sans.
I already know who mine is.
Who would you want as your celebrity wingman? Okay,
let's do something fun. Let's guess each other.
Okay, perfect.
Kick off.
All right, so these are the options. Jennifer Lopez, Chris Pratt, Beyonce, Chris Hemsworth, Jennifer Lawrence, or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Hold on, I need to think of what mine is, and then I need to think of who yours would be.
I already know who mine is.
A wingman. All right, I know who mine is. I know who yours is.
All right, yours is Beyonce.
Yes.
Okay. What
yours
is mine?
is Beyonce.
No.
Jennifer?
Yep.
Lopez, not Lawrence. Okay. So my thing is, because if Beyonce is my wingman, any gay man in this thing, I don't have to worry about. Because Chris Pratt would be good, but like I would be too worried. Like I look like a fucking piece of stinking fish next to Chris Pratt.
Well, I'm gonna look like fucking a piece of garbage next to Jennifer Lopez.
No, you're not. Maybe not garbage. Maybe like.
Oh, great.
Maybe like a little cup that someone threw out, but like a clean cup.
Love that.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I think if Beyonce's talking to any of these gay boys, and she's just like, well, yes, I think you should be friends with my here friend, Jonathan. Did I sound like her? I kind of sounded like a guy trying to sell. I don't think I've
ever heard her talk.
To sell cattle. What is...
No. I've heard her scream into a microphone.
Oh, Christ almighty. Are we even friends? You want to know what's funny?
Don't say that.
Somebody who I'm not going to name, but I know is listening to this, thought Beyonce was in the Spice Girls.
Trish?
No. We're not gonna say this person's name.
Why? Because I know who it is. Yeah. Carly.
No, it should be. No.
Who?
I know. All right, so let's move on.
I have to take that back. Trish would never say that.
Yeah, I know.
Describe your love life. Why in these fonts in one word?
It's not even a sexy font.
No. Hot, secret, active, sensual, fulfilling, lacking.
Lacking.
I'm gonna say sensual because me and my girlfriend did.
Do you want me to edit that out?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
All right. Jesus fucking Christ. Wow.
I got Noah Centino from that All the Boys.
Oh, he's very popular now.
Yeah, like what the...
He came out of the woodwork.
He sure did, but that's what I got.
What does it say? Give me the deets.
You appreciate the things that bring joy in life. You don't sweat the small stuff. Lie. And you routinely brush dirt off your shoulders. Lie. You like a man who is tender, hot, and oh so nice. That's true. My girlfriend is tender, hot, and oh so nice.
Okay, so I got the guy from BTS, and listeners don't hate me, but Jimin.
Oh, cute.
Jimin. Oh. Okay, so it says, you are absolutely fabulous and enjoy the finer things in life. Right?
Right.
You're direct, yet always remain poised, and you know how you like it. Right. Your assertiveness knows no bounds, and you love a man with a bit of style and flash. Ooh. Wow. They actually pretty much got me.
Look at that. They didn't get me.
Yours is like 25% correct. Wow. Okay. Hey, Jimin, maybe I'll start listening to BTS. Gonna be full transparency here. Don't know what BTS stands for. Behind the scenes?
Yep, that's what it is now.
But Tauruses suck? I can vouch for that. Wow, I had ramen noodles with hot sauce like an hour ago, and like that shit's no, but it's like I feel it in my heart, in my Terry Coddle's heart. Thank you guys so much for listening and all of your support. Again, tell an ugly friend, tell a cute friend, tell your mom,
tell your dad, tell your cousin, tell your sister,
tell your
brother,
dog,
tell your aunt.
Thank you. Tell your mother, your brother. Okay, copyright. We gotta cut that shit. What am I missing? Oh, follow us on all social media.
Yes, please.
It's me. Sarah's taking her break, and if y'all take a break from social media, we support you, but don't take a break from podcasts, bitch.
Yeah,
we need you.
And before you go away, podcasts don't.
Right, it's not social media.
No,
it's just like
iTunes. And
right, it's a form of fucking content consumption. Also, we are weapons of mass consumption.
Right.
Literally, like the thought of, and I'm not complaining at all. I think this is really cool, but we had a girl write to us and say that she totally binge listened to all of our things. And I'm like, we're at what, 53 episodes? That's like 53 hours. Thank you for the dedication. We really fucking appreciate you.
We sent her some stickers.
Yeah, and if that's you, hey girl, what's up? Thank you so much. But that's crazy because I do the same fucking thing. Like, I don't notice.
As soon as I find something I like, I'm binging it. Like, I just started watching The L Word.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with it. It's been around for fucking ever. Just found it. And it's 6 seasons, so now I get to binge it.
And you're going to.
And Kiko showed it to me.
Crazy because that's so much content. And think about how much content is out there. Like, dude, they are popping them out on Netflix.
They are.
Yeah.
And they're really good.
Like a Catholic family in the fucking 1800s.
Ooh.
Left and right. We got them Irish babies. Pop them, pop them, pop them. Perfect. Okay, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.